Hey girls, so I am back today with another staff chat, and today I'm joined by a beautiful Tiffany, who is here to talk about her journey since she has been inside the Feminine Physique Method, and she has now graduated for the program. So this is why I wanted to bring her in today, so she could talk to you about her whole journey and how she's been able to get to the point now where she feels confident enough to do this on her own. So, Tiff, give us a little bit of an introduction. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and what was your main reason for joining the program?
Absolutely. Tiffany Ferris Wade. I'm from Washington, D.C. in the U.S. And I joined the program because I was actually diagnosed with endometriosis in January of last year, had emergent surgery in May. And it took a couple years to get that diagnosis. And so with that, I had gained 40 pounds, just not knowing what was going on with my hormones and all these different things, and had developed some coping habits that weren't super great for me and my endo. And so I joined. It was so funny. I had followed you on social media for a long time, and you had randomly DM'd me, and I thought your account was hacked. And so I was like, well, this is crazy. And then you were actually just gathering some data about different busy girls, if you will. And so I said, you know what? This is the universe giving me a sign. I need the accountability. I need to make some changes. And so I reached out and said, hey, what does your coaching cost? And I got connected with Emily A, and it has been an incredible experience.
I love that so much. So I'm going to dive straight into that. When you say incredible experience, what makes you say that? Like, how has this program been so incredible compared to probably what you've done in the past?
Yeah, absolutely. So I had worked with a few coaches. I never lifted weights until the pandemic. And I knew if I was going to start lifting weights and being consistent, going to the gym, learning how to track my calories and macros, I needed a coach. And so I started with a personal trainer and then kind of migrated to someone else I found on social media, and then a third coach. And so I had had some experience just trying to learn my way through the gym, form, things like that. And when I joined SAF, it was a lifestyle. I can't emphasize this enough. It was a lifestyle. It was, here's how we're going to fit it into your everyday life. Other coaches I've noticed can very easily be, your macros are this, your calories are this, hit your steps. Why didn't you hit your steps? Here's your goals. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And with M, it was like a life partner. It was really a life partner. I had some family tragedies. I had a lot of stuff happen in the 6 months I was working with her, and she was able to scale to whatever I needed in that moment. Like, she could be a therapist if I needed her, and that was not her job. She could be my coach. She could be my trainer. She could help me with my form. She could help me with my habits. She has suggested a book, and I'm on my second reread, Atomic Habits. And it was just, she was so able to meet me where I was and help me get out of the rut that I was in, versus feeling like, okay, well, I'm already not doing this and I'm already not doing that. So why try? She was an incredible, just life partner through that 6 months of getting me to back to the basics, good habits, getting my calories and macros. Was it perfect? No. Did I lose all of my weight? No. But Emily was incredible through all of it. And I can look back and say, okay, I know where I fell short and where she did not fall short. So,
I love that. It's so true because I feel like so many, not just, fitness programs, but fitness diets and all anything out there, they're trying to put you into a box where we need the
mhm.
box to fit you, especially as you get
Yeah,
older. Maybe when we're younger, okay, it's easy to follow something that's a little bit more generic, or if you're, getting into fitness for the first time, something's better than nothing. But as you get
yeah.
older, you have more responsibilities, you have a
Mhm.
career, you have a life. It needs to be able to fit around that because we can't change the other things. We can't change the hours at
Right.
work. We can't change the demands of our families as much as we want to. So we have to
Yeah.
find a way to make it fit around that. So for you, what kind of things was you doing with Em, or was she helping you with to be able to make fitness fit your life?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things is, like you said, I have a very busy career, very busy life. And so I get up at between 4:30 and 5. I have to leave my house by 7:45. I'm in the office for 10 hours a day minimum. That does not include my commute. And so when she first gave me my first program, I was like, oh my God, this is, like a 52-minute workout. Like, I have 30 minutes exactly. That is what I have to go to the gym if it's going to be sustainable. And so she went back and reworked my whole program to make them exactly 29 to 31 minutes, and every program after that was fit perfectly. And so I know exactly when, okay, if I'm up at 5 and I do, feed the cats, do whatever I need to do, by 5:45 I can be in the gym, by 6:15 I can be done, which gives me another 15, 20 minutes before I need to hop in the shower to do some small thing I need to do, like get a package or do the dishes, something I didn't do the night before. And that is fitting into my lifestyle. It's not feeling like a second job where, oh my God, I still have to track my macros and my calories and get my workout in. It was not a second job. With my steps, for example, we had my steps up to 11,000 and I was not hitting that. I was consistently struggling. We scaled back. Okay, your min is 8K. Great. My min is 8K. Within 3 weeks, I was hitting over 12,000 steps a week. I just needed to be able to reframe the narrative and say, okay, it's not a I have to check this box. It's a I need to do this. So let's figure out how to make it work. And she was so good at that because I do have a very busy, fragmented life. And so not every one day is the same. Not every week is the same. And so being able to have that flexibility was just it was a relief. It was showing myself. It was, no, I can just talk to him and we can change this up and we'll get a win. And so that was huge. That was really huge for me. It was healing. It really was.
When you say healing, what makes you use that word?
Yeah. I feel like in the past I just felt like micromanagement with previous coaches, not all of them, but I was with one for an extended amount of time and there was a lot of lack of understanding to a day job, to a normal life, right? If your full-time job is fitness online, that is very different than commuting every day, right? And so I just felt like I had a little PTSD, to be honest, of like, oh, I think like every time I got a check-in video from Emily, I was a little bit worried that there was going to be bad feedback or I did something wrong. And so with each check-in, it was a new repetition of like, oh no, girl, you're doing great. And here's where you can improve. And here's what we're going to do to change that. It was so plan oriented and so action oriented that I didn't have to feel sad or disappointed or because I shared with you, I'm a perfectionist. So for me, it's like, well, if I'm not hitting my marks, I'm not doing it. Right. No, there's good days and bad days. And so it was very healing for me to be able to kind of relearn and know that I could trust her in that like she wasn't going to judge me. She wasn't going to, tick, 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 you didn't get your steps this week. She was going to listen to me and figure out a plan. And so it was just a relief. And it felt like I didn't have to be scared of messing up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. Because,
Yeah.
we're not here to tell you off. We're here to make
Right.
you, relate to the fact that you are a human and you're a
Yeah.
busy woman. We're all busy, we all get things going on. And if we're constantly waiting for the perfect time or, perfect conditions, things are just never going to get done. And that's obviously what you've
Right.
experienced before. So with the fact that you've took a slower pace, you've gone from setting quite high metrics to reasonable metrics, do you think
Mhm.
that's had an impact on your results? Do you think your results are worse or better?
I think that's a great question. And I would say, if you look at the scale, I would say, okay, well, I got halfway through my goal. I got halfway through my goal with Emily and I have another 15 pounds to lose. Um, but I would say it helped me overall because had I been stuck in that rut, I was never going to get to where I am today. I was never going to be able to get out of it. And so I think being able to scale is crucial. And I think it was so helpful to my results in the long run because I continued and I'm not sitting on my couch right now saying, I wanted to quit, I'm done. I was able to keep going. So I think it was incredibly helpful to my results overall. And because, as you said, results are not just weight, results are everything I've experienced, right? Like the learning, the growing, the healing, the being able to teach myself how to scale and teach myself how to have these small wins are it's just an phenomenal program. And I can't say enough good things.
I love that. When you think about the results that you've achieved, what is like the biggest one for you that you're the most proud of?
Yeah, absolutely. There's there's like a few, but I would say, um, hmm, honestly, I think the scalability there, I'm dabbling because there were two. I had a habit that was really using to cope, and she helped me with that. And that is it's tangible, but it's not physical, if that makes sense, right? Or I guess it's not a tangible result, but it's a result that I feel. But also the scalability has been huge for me in looking at those results and knowing that I can carry those results forward. Does that make sense? Like I can do this myself. And that is because I've learned from Emily how to do it myself.
Absolutely. So the biggest
Yeah.
result for you is being able
Yeah.
to have the tools, the skill set, and the knowledge to be able to sustain this for the rest of your life. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, absolutely. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's the
Yeah.
biggest achievement out of all of them, right? Because yeah, you
Yeah,
lose weight, yeah,
absolutely.
amazing, feel more confidence in yourself. But the
Mhm.
goal that everyone is trying to get to is maintenance and
Is
sustainability.
maintenance.
And the
Yes.
reason why they
Yes.
can't achieve that is because they don't have something that allows for life to happen. And that brings me on to my
Hmm.
next question is when you was working with them in those 6 months, do you feel like you had to sacrifice your social life? Do you feel like you had to sacrifice events, nights out, days out, the foods you love, or do you feel like it kind of just the plan fit all that as well?
The plan fit all of that. I did not, and that was another thing with previous coaching. And I get it. There is that I don't want to say stigma, but there's that concept that like to diet, you have to have a perfect 4 months. If you're going into a deficit, you can't have any social events. You have to have a clean. I'm sorry, that does not happen. That does not exist. I was thinking right now to myself, like, okay, if I wanted to do something like that, I don't have 30 consecutive days. And it's very unrealistic, again, to think, okay, well, to diet, you have to wait till January because no one's doing anything. So it was very much being able to every week, if I said, hey, I'm doing this, is what's your plan for the weekend? Okay, this is what I'm doing. Great. Where are we pulling cows? And where are we adding cows, basically? I didn't feel like I had to give up a single thing. And I have a very robust social life between work and home. And it fit perfectly. There was either a plan in place or I knew I was going to indulge and calorie cycle the next day. So I I lived my life to the fullest,
Love that.
which
And
was
that's
so nice. It was so nice.
refreshing, right? To know that
Yes,
well, I
yes.
can I can actually reach my goals and still enjoy my life at the same time.
Right, right. Because
And
I have been to dinners where I didn't eat, dinners where I didn't, weddings where I didn't drink. Like I had trips where I didn't indulge at all, and I was miserable. I was miserable for what? 2 pounds on the scale. That to me is not sustainable results. That's not a lifestyle. And so it was the resounding message with SAF for me was lifestyle, lifestyle, lifestyle. And I love it.
and it is now just part of your lifestyle. And don't get me
Right,
wrong,
right.
that we're not putting out the message that you can eat and drink all you want all day, every day,
Of
and
course,
achieve your
of
results.
course.
But if you have a strategy and
Yes.
you have a strategy for your goals, you also have a plan of what you're going to be doing or some sort of plan, then you can do it.
Hmm.
But it's when we go in like this with no
Yeah.
plan,
Yeah.
no knowledge, we don't understand what we're doing. That's when
Right.
obviously things start to build and build. And then we obviously get to the point where we're like, what is the point? And then we just give up because we think that we
Right.
have to choose between our fitness goals or our social life. Whereas I can't
Absolutely.
stress this enough, the knowledge is the most important part because the things that you've
Hmm.
obviously learned from you've got tons of tools, tons of strategies, but the most important thing it's the knowledge and understanding your body as an individual as well. Because like you said
Yes.
earlier on, there's no one size fits all. Not everyone can do 10,000 steps a day. Not everyone can train
Right.
4 or 5 times a week. Not everyone can track their calories. So it has to be able to
Right.
fit for you. And like you said, meet where you are and then build up from there.
Right.
Would you agree?
Yes. Absolutely. And that was my experience. We always had a strategy around the social events, 100%. And it was very much anytime we scaled back, it was only to get me to take off. It was just a blip and I had a crazy week. Right now we've been buried in snow for 3 weeks and it's 12 degrees outside. My steps are suffering. I hate the treadmill, but it's a strategy. You got to do it. So I get it.
So, what would you say to someone right now if, they sat down with you and they say, look, I'm thinking about joining this program, but I'm a little bit
Mhm.
unsure. What kind of advice or what would you say to them?
Absolutely. I would say do it. Of course I would say do it. And I would say do it because of there's so much more to this program than just weight loss. It's as you just said knowledge. It's teaching, it's goals, it's a community. And again, I've been a part of different programs. I haven't experienced this before. And so if you're considering it at all. I would say do it, at least do it for 6 months, try it out, and know that like if your life gets in the way, it's not going to stop you. You guys, you and Ross, the whole team, it's not going to stop you. If anything, you're just going to say, okay, great, let's game plan. It's a partner in life is really how I viewed him for because if you think about it, your health and wellness it can consume you, right? If you have a body goal or if you're counting your macros and calories, it can be consuming, and especially if you want to get to your progress. So like I would say there are zero cons to doing it, and it was such a benefit to my life that I am shouting about it from the rooftops. So I would just say consider it, and don't just think that you're okay, well I might lose 20 pounds in 6 months. No, you're going to gain so much more self-confidence and tools, and those tools build more self-confidence. And so I would just say 10 out of 10 recommend.
I love that. And you literally took the words out of my mouth, right? It's not about what you lose, it's about what you gain. And it sounds like
Yes,
that you've
yes.
gained so much from this journey. So my last question is you is how would you sum up this journey?
Ah, how would I sum up this journey in one word or just in general?
Just in
In
general.
general, I would say this for me was like I said, it was a gift from the universe. It came at the right time, at the right moment. It was exactly what I needed when I needed it. And she, like I said, I was coming out of a really rough couple of years, being sick with endo, not knowing what was going on, not knowing, what was wrong, lots of doctors, and then kind of settle. I had a few months to settle in after surgery. And then I realized I need some help. And so having her be that help, not it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought, okay, well, she'll keep me accountable. But no, this was just a really immersive experience for me, and being able to reconnect with myself, reconnect with my goals, reconnect with what I'm capable of. And Emily gave all of that to me. So it was so much more. I mean, 15 pounds is great, but it was so much more than just 15 pounds for me. So
Love that.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Tiff, thank you so much for sharing your journey. I'm sure it's going to inspire so many other women to get started on their own as well. And like you said, it was the right time for you. And I genuinely think as
yeah,
well, we can want it all we want, but sometimes it is about, when things feel right, but also not waiting for the perfect time because it's never going to exist. But
right.
hopefully now, once someone's watched this, it might have just been the encouragement that they needed to be like, "Do you know what? I'm ready to go. Let's freaking do this." So thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing your journey. We really appreciate it. And I'm so
Of
freaking proud of you
course.
as well. Everything you've achieved and
Thank
that the fact that you
you.
can just do this on your own, honestly,
Thank you.
gives me goosebumps. So for me and the rest of the team, we're so freaking proud of you and we cannot wait to see what else you achieve.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to have been a part of this.